Hello, now we are going to learn about the second part of cascading style sheet, which I have started in my last video. So let me go to the point from where we have left. What we have learned in the previous video, we learned about the CSS. That means what is cascading sheet and why it is required, and how many types of CSS are there and how they are implemented. There are mainly three types of CSS. We have seen that embedded, internal and external CSS, and how they are implemented. So now today I will say something about the ID and classes, which is also an important thing of this CSS, along with the div tag. So now first of all I came to the point of ID. So what do you mean by this IDs and classes? This is a different thing, and IDs means which is to distinguish from something, such as a paragraph from other things. Okay, ID, as we have an ID, such like that, an ID is present there. And what are the classes? Such as here a paragraph ID has been given here. It is head has been given, indicated by head. Actually a hash will be written for this in the style class, style file. In the style file, in CSS file, we have to write something on this one. So now there is again classes also. So let me see the next one, that how that one is written. Hash ID, this one is defined in the style, whereas the tag ID and ID name is given. So this style will be given on this tag ID. Okay, I will show the example with the example so that you have a clear idea about it. So now thereafter we have the classes, such as HTML and XHTML require each ID to be unique. Therefore an ID value can only be used once in the document. It can be only used once, and for a group element we actually uses the class. The class is also included as class equals to class, like this within the HTML, whereas such as for the class here, mainly the class has been written with the help of a dot, and its color is red. Fruit is a type of class and vegetable is a type of class. And here the class, within an unordered list, there are lists are there, and within them there is fruit. Apples is a fruit, apples are fruit, carrots vegetable. So both of them, fruit, there belongs to a group of fruit are there, those are applied red in color, and some of them are green in color. Okay, so this is the color, and parts portion is green in color. So this is applied not only to a single element, it is applied for a group of elements. Okay, so now working with this class. So in this class, to create a class, enter the following. We have a tag, class name and all those things, and then within the style we have to write like this, dot class name, or either as tag dot class name. Okay, so this is the thing. Mainly with classes, the difference between the class and ID property is that ID is appeared for only one tag, means it is unique tag, and it can be, class can be applied for multiple document tags. So let us see the example of it. So here is an example of ID and class.html. So let me see this one, how it is occurring. So here the same thing we have done it, but here I have inserted both of the things, such as this is an example of class. Class here is water, cabbage, watermelon, mango, all these things has been applied to one thing, and cabbage and carrot, here are the classes are being applied, and here is the ID applied. We can, it can be clear when we see the view page source with the help of this one, able to see the page source, then we will be able to understand about it. So let me see the page source. So this is the page source where ID is given to only one part, that one is the head part, and li within the unordered list, this li has been applied, where fruit, vegetable, again fruit and vegetable, like this hasn't been applied to the class. So we will find something in this file name.to css, which is an external css. Here mainly we find something with dot and something with hash. So let me see it clearly. So with that one, we are here with head, two head are there, but this head has been not used, head 2 has been not used yet, and head has been used where color is called to red, and font family is sans serif. So which is observed in this document, and the other one is fruit, which color is red in color, and vegetable color is little green color, greenish color, a combination of greenish color, and it has been observed in greenish color. So these are the two different types. This class and id has not only used in this one, it will be also used in various things such as in div tag, in paragraph tag also. So let me show, this one is the div tag. We will carry forward with div tag. Here is the div tag is given here, paragraph, blocks, and all those things. Mainly what does this div tag means? Actually this div tag is actually a thing. What happens to this actually creates a layer. It creates a layer above another layers. Okay, 2 or 3 layers we can create, and we can just adjust them in a manner. I will show an example of it. So here is one example has been Maxwell will teach, resulting the result div.slogan, and this class has been applied to this div, and exactly the output will be accordingly. So now if we went to this one, so we went to let me see an example of this one. So where we will see this one in div tag we will see. So this is a very basic one. We can see it clearly here. A background has been applied, but see that the background is in gradient in color, and another is a header is also present, and another left portion is present, in between present another middle portion, and at the last the footer is present. Okay, so let me see the example, mainly the CSS code and all those things. So let me see the page source. So here it is an embedded type of style. The style is very large, little large one, but you can able to understand it, such as here body is given. Body has been on a margin of 0. Margin can be applied on 4 sides, 4 directions. Padding is also 0, and the URL is given here, body bg.jpg. I will say something about this one, and background color is actually black, and but we will see this image will be overlapped on it, and this has been repeatex. All the terms we do not have to know, only the why we have used, only exactly the important terms I am saying. It has been repeated x time. Actually this body bg means this one I have created in Photoshop. So this gradient color we cannot able to do with the color code. And another thing I want to mention, that if this one is a little smaller also, then also the body bg remains. So how this has been, if I insert a background color at a whole, background means a background image, if it is inserted, then it will be very large file, and it will take a greater amount of time. So let me see what I have done. Mainly here a body bg is there, a body bg which one is very small. This one I have created in what we called Photoshop. This one is of just 1 pixel, and since with the help of the code it has been repeated x times. Okay, a main container is present there, a footer is present there. Actually we have to calculate the size, how much I want to show in the browser. Accordingly it can also given in percentage also. So width is here 777 pixels, and footer is also 777 pixels, and margin is given here. A background has been applied to the main what we called the main container, a bluish type of color. That one is seen here, since no background, other background has been applied. And in the footer, see that border has been applied to it. Border is solid FFF, means white in color, and also a background color like almost reddish in pinkish in color has been applied to it. Okay, so these are all the things which has been kept within the head file. And also the left column we have floated. I have said beforehand that these are layers and they can float, and it has been floated, and its width is this one and height is this much. We have calculated and write it here. When you will become much more adequate all those things, you can also able to understand this one. And in the top section also we have kept a height of this one, width is same here also, and these things, now these hash, all these hash are all IDs are there. So this hash, left column and top section, we will apply downwards. See that we have started one div, within that the main container has been applied, thereafter a top section has been applied. Top section mainly means this top part, that means in green in color, greenish in color, and then within that we have mainly floated actually floated the header and a margin and a solid color border we have given in order to see that where it is coming, otherwise we cannot able to understand. Actually we design all those things with the help of Dreamweaver and all those things. Okay, that one is much more easier, but since we are doing it in Notepad, so it is little harder for here to see the designs, and here we are ending it, and again left column is applied and left column has been floated on the left portion, and then a footer is present, and there also we have written footer by giving another div style whose margin is 10 pixel and font size is 24 pixel, which has been written below in the down. So in this manner, and div tag has been finished, this div tag has been started and div tag has been finished here. So in this manner we have completed the whole thing. So it is a very important thing, fundamental thing for a div tag. People on practicing more and more can able to understand more about the div tag. They are little harder part within this CSS, but that one is very useful part. And another is a span class. Span tag can be used for inline elements, okay, to create a container for the inline elements and all those things, okay. And there are also some page layout are present, heading tags and for those things such as page layouts are present here, mainly the padding, margin, which I have said already, in the border, all those things that can be margins can be of 4 types. I have also mentioned margin top, margin right, margin bottom, and there is also margin left. 2 em they have written, and here we can also write 2 pixels also, as here also it has been written, here also it has been written that how much margin, 0 pixels, auto will take automatically 0 pixels, and again auto is given here, okay. So in this manner it is occurring, and padding can also be used with the value of padding from the top, padding from right side and bottom. So mainly these are mainly used for formatting the things, okay. So all these things are main things, and a float attribute, actually to float a block element we use the float like this of things, that one I have given here also. Here see that we have used float to left or right, anywhere we can float. The top section is also floated from the left, and in one of the example of my HTML I have floated it to the right side. So all this thing is mainly for CSS. So if you go through this both CSS, then you can able to understand all the things about CSS, and thereafter you can do the projects. Mainly copy and pasting, all those things can be done, but you can able to understand that where the thing will come or not, okay. That's all from me for today, and I am completing this one here.